it is one of the important topic. Casting is one of the important topic. You will understand that. I think ma'am thought about, I just go over review. Casting means what, ma? What is casting? What is casting? What is casting? Conversion of data type. Yeah, Mohan Sai correct. Buddhala correct. To convert one data type. Yeah, one data type to another. Data type conversion. Yeah, thank you, Alma. So I think you may understand that that is conversion. Okay. I think I will enable the waiting room. Okay. So you are supposed to know this is the data type where I think bool we studied it, but in C++ it starts from bool, char, short int, and all we have seen. And you all know it is varied only depending on size, 1 bytes to some 8 bytes of data type, it keep on varying. Okay, so when I move from this bool to char to short int, that is upcasting. Downcasting na short into char to bool na, reverse order na, it is called as a downcasting. Is clear? Ma'am, try catch through program not explained. Oh, what? Try catch through. Ma'am didn't explain this program. Kindly. No, ma'am. Okay, okay. Now I will explain this program. Hey, Mohan Sai, you only explained, me only explained that Rashmita have put it. You didn't attend on that day, wow. Huh? 2 people are taking class now. Yeah, error came up. Oh, okay. That I told you. Yeah, I can remember that. Why? Because now answer number is 0. It's not getting. I think that is the problem. Yeah, denominator not to be. But while in online GDP compiler, it's not executing. But we will check it whether in Turbo C it will work. Okay. Yeah, I can remember. Online GDP, it is not working because there we will choose Turbo C. Okay. We will check seat. It's not though. We will. You go with Turbo C++, because on that day I can remember that in Turbo C++ iostream.h using namespace std it's not needed. We will see it. Okay, whether it is working in Turbo C++, because there we should not put using namespace std, void main, and I will put getch. Okay, getch I will put, and you all know hash include conio.fetch. I will run the program. I will check it whether it is working or not. Yeah, it's not working. You all seen in Turbo C++, even it's not working. Okay, I think I have to choose for me to Turbo C++ to execute this program. Okay, or else again I remove it H and I will try it once again. Yeah, but it's working fine in C++, I think so. There just we have to put using namespace std. Yeah. Okay, ma. So I think yeah, I think it's not working in our compiler. It is. I think it will work in Turbo C++. It's clear. So I think I will explain you in Turbo C++. I will store the program because Turbo C++ we don't have option to copy paste, we have to type the program. So I will explain it next class. Okay, I will save it and open it for you and I will explain it. Okay, so I think casting ma'am have done. So implicit type conversion program have executed. In casting program ma'am have executed. Na? Implicit executed. Yes, implicit is get executed. Okay. Explicit explicit also done now. Okay, explicit also done. Very good, very good. Okay. Implicit and explicit have done. Okay. Okay, and one more thing. Yeah, this is also explicit, and I think we will go with the 4 types of casting. Static. So what is difference in implicit and explicit? Ma? Implicit, we don't need any cast operator, any syntax. Automatically compiler itself convert while it executing. But explicit conversion, we have to go for cast operator, and there is a separate syntax for that, and it's forceful conversion. It's not like automatic conversion. Forcefully, we are doing upcasting as well as downcasting to convert. Okay. This static, dynamic, constant, re-interrupt cast. One thing you understand, what is the 4 major difference now? This static casting will be done only in the compile time. Okay, it will be used in the compile time cast. The remaining and all odd will be the runtime cast. What is compile time and what is runtime? Compile time means while compiling itself, the data type will be get changed. But runtime now, in runtime only the data type will get changed. So static cast will be compile cast, and dynamic cast, constant cast, re-interrupt cast will comes under the runtime. All of you clear? Have you understand? Okay. Now explicit manual. I can't understand. Morgan, explicit manual. There also we are converting. Nothing. Okay. Okay. So you have to understand that converting casting is not that is not possible in C. For example, if I want to add one integer number with another integer number only possible, or else it will throw there. But here using implicit automatically, even though it is in another data type, it will convert and then it will add it. That is possible here, and forcefully also we can convert and we can perform. Okay. So here we will see one by one with example. Okay. Static casting. Okay. So you understand? Have you all written the syntax for static casting? Static underscore cast, new type expression. You just take down static underscore cast. Yeah. This program have you executed? Yeah. So I think. Yeah. When you see this, I am forcefully converting. Okay. So listen. So what is the keyword you have learned? Static underscore. So here I am forcefully converting this float to integer. So if I run my program, you all know B value will be printed, that is 3. Okay. Now similarly, if I want to print F value, what will be my F value, ma? What will be my F value? 3.5 only. Yeah. How come 3? Even though here we have used the static. Yeah. When you see that, you can see, oh, sorry. It will print one after another. So that you see B value is 3 and F value is 3.5. Why? Because now here only we were converting that F into integer and we printed that B value. So here I am forcefully converting. So we all know what is the syntax more? Static underscore cast int. I am going to change into which data type? Int and the expression F. Okay, so my B value will be 3. No round off. It won't do any round off. Even though it is 3.5, it won't round off to 4. It will take only the integer part. But when I print my F value doesn't change. That is 3.5. Forcefully I am converting, but automatically what will be the F now? That the same value will be printed. Is clear, ma? Have you understand? Yeah. So I will move on to the next one. Okay. So you all taken static underscore cast data type expression. That is the expression which is needed for static casting, and this is only with the compile time casting. The remaining and all will be the runtime casting. Okay. Now can you able to view the PPT, ma? Now can you able to view the PPT? Yes. Okay. I think now it's working fine. Okay. Now I just put that. Okay. Now can you tell me the output of this program? Just look up and tell me before conversion what it will do, after conversion what it will do. Just tell me the answer. Okay. Thank you, Oma. Brinda, thank you. Buddhala, thank you. Just I have used static casting only. So I have used sum is 1000 and count is 21. So I have print double average one sum by count. Okay. And here I have put it. Can you able to tell me the answer? First, you all know that I think the value or big. Okay. I will get 47.619. Yeah. Before conversion 47.6 or after conversion 47.6, Buddhala. Before conversion, what it will print. After conversion, what it will print. Actually, in before conversion, both the variables are in integer. Even though my variable in double, these two are in integer. So while putting this division 1000 by 21, 1000 by 21, it will print only 47. Yeah, Prithvi, correct. It will print only 47. But when you go to the 11th line, I used the data type double average 2. Okay. Why? Because now to understand that static underscore cast double, forcefully I'm converting double sum by count. So that time definitely it will print 47.619. Is clear? Have you understand? Can you understand the difference? In previous case, both my numerator and denominator are in yeah. So when I execute the program, here before conversion, it will print only 47. And after conversion, it will print 47.619. That is the meaning. Okay, can you understand the purpose? So I think one of the program on one particular day, the banking program I have explained. So that also, that time also, I fed the problem that 40, yeah, just you see, I think I hope you can able to see. Before conversion, my value is 47. And after conversion, it will become 47.619. Why? Because now here I have declared both the variable in integer. That's why it is printing the integer value. Everything, I'm not changing in my runtime. Everything gets changed in the compile time. That's why static casting will be comes under the compile time. Are you clear? Shall I move on to the next one? Okay. Now the next data type, next casting type we will see, that is dynamic casting. Okay, so dynamic casting is safely to use downcasting. Okay, and it's also be used for upcasting. It will be do both upcasting and dynamic downcasting. I told you what is upcasting, what is downcasting and all. So when it moves from boolean to character to short integer, that is upcasting. Short integer to character to boolean, it is comes under the downcasting, depending upon the size of that. Okay. Now, what is this condition for this dynamic casting? Now, dynamic casting will be only used in the inheritance method. Whether my base class and derived class is there, at that time only I will use the dynamic casting, or else I won't use the dynamic casting. And then it is also used in the polymorphism only. Especially in the polymorphism, we have seen runtime. So, which method? Polymorphism, what are the three methods, ma? I think you have studied polymorphism. What are the three methods in polymorphism? Actually, two methods, but we have discussed three methods in the class. What are the three methods? Polymorphism, three methods. Unit 4 topic. What is the major two methods? All I forgot. Yeah, very good, Rashmita. Compile time polymorphism, runtime polymorphism. Very good. But I told you this dynamic casting is especially used in the runtime. Okay. So runtime means which polymorphism type will support here? Compile time, we have two types. Runtime, we have one type. Can you able to remember compile time? What are the types? Compile time, what are the types we have? I'm asking only the topic name, not in detail. Yeah, overloading method. What are the two overloading? Function overloading, operator overloading. That are comes under the compile time polymorphism. Okay, runtime polymorphism. Runtime polymorphism. Yeah, function loading, Brinda, correct. Operator overloading. Okay. Runtime polymorphism. Yeah, overriding. Yeah, Mohan, correct. Overriding. What is the method name? Virtual function. Brinda, correct. Yeah, Jaykumar, correct. Virtual functions. Okay. So similarly, this particular dynamic casting also supports the virtual function overriding method along with the polymorphism. Okay. Now you have kindly take down this syntax, because we all know that all this casting we will use the cast operator. Okay, so that is the only difference. This all will comes under the explicit casting. You kindly take down. Okay, new type asterisk new pointer dynamic underscore cast. Again, it is a new keyword, new type asterisk and PTR, the pointer to be casted. Okay, and it will okay. And one more point they have told, it is slower than the static casting. We all know while comparing the runtime and the compile time, we used to say the compile time, the execution will be very fast, and runtime, the execution will be slow, because the runtime only we are doing the changing process. And one more thing, while we are seeing the compile time, it have a less flexibility, but runtime is always have a more flexibility. So this advantage is also that. So dynamic casting will comes under the runtime, and it will be slower than the static casting. And one more time we have to say to that, it is also used in the polymorphism, as well as it will be used in the inheritance method, derived class only. Okay, now you just see, I have how many class actually. Okay, you just see this particular line is, leave this line. Okay, actually I have put yeah, leave this line and this line. Yeah, okay, leave these two lines. Okay. Now we will see class B. Here I told you virtual. Virtual means what is that method? Virtual overloading method, overriding method is that. And under the virtual, I have a one function named fun. Okay, so this is my class gets over, and this is for my function. Okay. And I have derived one more class from the base class. What is that, ma? Derived class. I have one parent class, and from that I have derived one more class. That is derived class. Okay, so we all know the syntax for writing the derived class. Class child name, colon, access specifier, space, parent class name. Okay, so this I have written. Okay, int main. Okay, and now I am going to create the base pointer. Okay, base pointer. This is asterisk b is nothing but base pointer to the derived class, new derived. Okay, we all know what is the syntax. New underscore type. Okay, new underscore type, what is that? Derived. Okay, and pointer for the derived classes, asterisk d. Okay, and then dynamic underscore cast. That is here I have written. New type, the type to which the pointer needs to be casted. Derived asterisk. Then the pointer to be casted. I want to do the pointer for b, so that will be possible. B. Okay, then if I print b, address will be my address will be printed. Is clear? Okay, once again I will tell you, I will execute you, then you will understand how it is working. Okay, new type asterisk. Have you all take down the syntax? Then only you will understand. New type asterisk, new PTR, dynamic underscore cast, new type, then pointer, the pointer to be casted. Have you taken that mark? Shall I execute the program? Shall I execute this program? Shall I execute it? Why there is no response from your side? Whether I am audible or not? Students, listen, ma. Yeah, I'm getting the chat. Okay, ma. So now I will execute this program. Okay, so now you leave this my class and all. Okay, my class is a separate class. It is not related to the base and derived class. You will see if I put this, what happened. If I run, definitely my address will be printed here. Okay, actually it will compare. Okay, now I am just taking this line. Okay, same thing only. Okay, so actually when I put it here, my class asterisk, even though I am using the same agronomy here, Control V, new my class. Okay. Okay, now shall we see this particular line is working or not? Okay, we have done for which class, ma? My class. My class is not the derived class of base class. We will check it whether it will work or not. Whether it will work or not. It won't work. Why? Because now they are saying now my class does not a type. It's not a type, it's a separate class. This particular dynamic casting will always work only with the polymorphism along with the inheritance class only. This particular upcasting or downcasting will be applicable, or else it won't work. So you may ask the doubt, ma'am, it won't work for another class now. When I can use? Actually, for that particular method, the same thing only. For that particular method, we have a reinterrupt cast. Okay, when I go to the reinterrupt cast, they have told you one point. You just read this point. It is also a type of casting. It also convert one data type of pointer to another data type of pointer, and it does not check the pointer if it is in the same class or not, if the class is related to each other or not. So instead of the dynamic underscore cast, if I put reinterrupt underscore cast, definitely it will work. Okay, shall we check it there? Okay, can you understand what is reinterrupt cast now? This is also similar to that of dynamic casting. Casting means why we are saying runtime casting and all now, it will go to that particular address and it will change. Okay, so now what I am going to do, I'm going to Okay, I'm going to do it for, I'm going to use reinterrupt underscore cast. Okay, reinterrupt underscore cast. So I may print the address of the variable. So I'm considering this as a D1. Okay. So now I will print the address of D1. Now, whether it will work or not, definitely will work. Even though the first will work only in the dynamic casting, but when you go with the D1, my class, it will work in the, okay, I think I will take it this. My class, okay, this is D1, not a D1, because here I used D1 only now. So D1 only. You just see, have you seen? First case it is printing the address of B1 and second case it printing the address of B1. So when you see that, if I want to do it for inherited classes, I have to use dynamic underscore cast. If it is not the derived class, I have to use the reinterpret underscore cast. Have you all got this point? Can you understand what is dynamic cast and what is reinterrupt cast? So dynamic casting also done only in the inheritance class, and it will be applicable. You see, even I don't use this virtual void fun, it won't work. It is always obviously used here only. Okay, we'll see to this particular thing. Yeah, definitely it will be used along with the polymorphism and inheritance only it will work. So definitely I have to include virtual void fun. Okay, so then only it will work. Now it is printing that. So you all understand well, my reinterrupt cast will works only in the will work only in any type of class, but my dynamic underscore cast will work only in the inheritance class. That's why when I put derived asterisk, you all know what is the syntax. New type underscore new pointer, dynamic underscore cast, okay, new type and pointer to be casted. Same thing only for reinterrupt cast. Okay, new type and new asterisk new pointer, reinterrupt underscore cast, okay, new type asterisk, then here not 11, it is D1. Okay, when you see with that pointer to be casted. So shall I move on to the next topic? Have you understand this? Have you understand what is dynamic casting, what is static casting, and what is reinterrupt casting? What casting is left out now? What casting is left out, ma? Are you there, students? See, we were seeing about, yeah, very, thank you. Who, Rashmita put constant casting. That alone I have to explain. Yeah. So you all understand, especially the 4th and 5th unit, what we were discussing now. We were discussing what are the features is not available in C that we are focusing. In unit 4, when you go with that, we are focusing on inheritance and polymorphism, that is OOPS concepts. So for that, we need a class and object. So first we have explained about class and object thoroughly, then we move on to that method. When I move on to the unit 5, we have seen template which supports the variety of data type, and then we slowly move on to the type of namespace. Then we seen that it will avoid the name collisions, and globally we want to declare that is also possible. Then we move on to the method exception handling that is not available in C to convert my error message into friendly messages, user friendly messages that particularly we have a 3 keywords, try, catch, throw will be used along with the exception handling. Okay, then we move on to the category of casting where this particular feature is not available in C. So if I want to add 2 numbers in C, definitely it should match with the both or should be in the same data type, then only it will add. But here it's not a mandatory to that. Definitely it will add And forcefully I want to convert, I can convert. Automatically, this compiler will also convert. So that is one of the next powerful tool or powerful feature which is available in C++ is casting. There we have implicit and explicit, and we are discussing 4 types of casting: static casting, dynamic casting, reinterrupt casting, and finally we are going to see the constant casting. Is clear? Okay. Now, okay. Okay. So you now see, I think reinterrupt casting I have completed. Okay. Constant casting. Please kindly take down the syntax mark for constant casting. It's one of the type casting. It used to change the constant value of any object. It is used to remove the constant nature of any object. Okay. Actually, I will tell you. If I declare CONST, actually this constant we already studied in C itself, same keyword only. If I declare one variable in the constant, if I want to change or I want to increment the value or I want to decrement the value, that is not possible. That is not possible because it is under the constant. The variable is declared under the constant. But here when you take that, this constant underscore cast have that nature to change. It can able to change the value. That is possible here. Okay. So we will see to that. Then we will just take down the syntax more. You just take down the syntax. You just take down the syntax. Constant underscore cast type name expression. This is a very simple thing. While you can see that for explicit only, we don't have any name for the casting. For all the 4 types of casting, we use the keyword from the name itself. Okay, static underscore cast, dynamic underscore cast, constant CONST, constant underscore cast, and then we have seen reinterrupt underscore cast. Have you all take down? Have you all take down this? If you take down, I will explain you the program. Have you all take down? Constant, have you understand? If I declare any variable under the constant, I cannot able to change the value of the variable. But using constant underscore cast, I can change the value even though it is declared under the constant. That is possible in this constant underscore cast. The value of the constant can be changed. Yeah. Shall I move on? Shall I move on? Yes. Thank you, Ma. Okay. Now, okay. You may, okay, actually this is not the print answer. Okay. Now, okay. Yeah, students, just listen this program. I think I will execute it. It will be somewhat a better way for you to understand. Okay. Okay. Actually, it's very simple program. Don't get panic by seeing the lines. Okay. Actually, it's very simple program. Okay. You just see, I have explained the constant casting. So we have used the keyword CONST, that is constant. We already learned. So what is the value of constant, Ma? What is the p value? P value is 20. Okay. So if I declare, okay, I think if I declare Q equal to P plus 20, and that is possible. P plus 20 is possible. Now I am declaring P equal to 15, P plus plus. Okay. Now you tell me whether this particular program will execute or not. Huh? Everyone telling the answer. Yeah, that is 20. Okay. Now, can you tell me whether the 10th and 11th, 14th line, you have a cout statement? Okay. Now, after executing this program, whether my 14th line will execute or not. Whether my 14th line will execute or not. Okay. Now, we will see to this. Okay. I think I will execute this program. Now I'm going to run the program. Okay. So by running the program, oh, okay. I will put all this or under this. Okay. Now I will run the program. Okay. You just see what is my p value, ma? 20. Constant p equal to 20. And you all know q equal to p plus 20. You just see p equal to q equal to p plus 20. P value I cannot change. P is 20 only. So it is fixed only. Okay. Now I am going to change the value of p equal to 15. Okay. Then I am changing p plus plus. Now I am printing this p value now. Definitely it is not possible. You just see error assignment. Read only variable p. Okay. That won't execute. Okay, why? Because now I declared my variable p under the constant casting. So under the constant casting, if I can't able to change that value. So for that, sorry, we have declared as a constant. So that's why it cannot be changed. So, okay, if I want to change now, what I have to do now? Same variable. You just see, I cannot able to do in the terms of here. So what I will do, I will write this index. You all know int r constant underscore cast int. Okay, int ampersand p. Okay, then I am putting r minus semicolon. Okay, then r. Okay, now what will whether my program will execute or not? Now my program will execute or not this time? Yes. Why? Because now I have declared my constant variable under the using casting. I have declared under the variable r. You just see int r. I have declared under the r. So now if I try to execute, definitely my program, what will be my r value, ma? What will be my R value now? Can you tell? What will be the R value? What will be the R value? This case we all know P will be 20, 20 plus 20, 40. Okay, here, yeah, Morgan I correct. Rashmita, I put R minus now. So definitely it will decrement the R value and it. So the constant nature will be get, yeah, the constant nature will be get. So new value will become 19. Yes, clear? Have you all understand this program? How the constant casting is working? Can we all understand the casting programs? So implicit automatic conversion. This is, I told you, function template is one of the important part B question. Class template is another important part B question. And when you go with third important part B question is casting. Is clear? So here, when you go with this particular casting, yeah. When you see to that, this will be my value. So you all know this particular code, if you try or a command or then automatically it won't run. But here the value of or actually it will be modified because I have declared int or under constant underscore. What we have seen, constant underscore casting means it will change the constant value of any object. It is used to remove the constant nature of any object. So that is constant. Whatever the variable we declared under the constant underscore casting that have a capability to change. So what we understand from the casting now, casting can be done in C++, whether upcasting or downcasting, whether I can do automatically or forcefully, or I want to change the nature of the object, or if I want to do it in inheritance or out of the class, whatever may be, my casting is possible. Is clear? All of you get clear on this point? Yes. Okay. So when you go with this unit 5, okay, I think this will be your topic. Okay, function, class, namespace. This is only the one topic we didn't touch. STL, standard template library. Casting, exception handling, all get over. Okay. Today I will give you some 2 case studies because the next class will be on Friday. Everyone, actually group 1, we have adopted this method, and some of the students have executed, and I allow them to. Have you done this thing? Have you discussed this case study? Have I discussed this case study? Or ma'am has discussed? Or else I will go with another case study problem. That's it. No, ma'am didn't discuss this method. Okay, ma'am, or will be 19, or minus will come now 20 now according to post and pre-decrement. Okay, okay. Actually, we declared or equal to 20 because in the constant casting, it's actually, we will see that. Just having a doubt. If I do that, now it will become 18. Sorry, 19. Both are working in same manner. Oh, that's why you have got the doubt. Both are showing R minus 19 only. Yeah, actually, when you see to that, this when I put it, both will decrement, that's sure. But when you go with that in for loop only, that post and pre-decrement will work. When I use the operator separately, I think both will give the same answer only. Yes? Have you understand, ma'am? Okay. I think I will give you 2 case study. Okay. You people have to show me the output. I will change you as a co-host to share your screen to get the output. So kindly take down this question, ma. Kindly take down this question because case study they gave. So I want to discuss some more case study. So you just listen. Calculate the percentage of a student using multi-level inheritance. Okay. Accept the marks of 3 subjects in a base class. So you have one class that will be your base class. That will be your base class. Okay. Then you have to go with another class. A class will derived from the above mentioned class to find the total marks. Okay. So this will be, I have to calculate the total marks. Total marks. Okay. Everyone take down these questions or take down the snapshot. Total marks. And then I have to have one more derived class from this that will calculate the percentage. That will calculate the percentage. So this is called multi-level inheritance. Multi-level inheritance. So this, I take my base class as a student, my class name as a student. Okay, take the base class as a student. Okay, now I will tell you how you are. Have you all taken down the question? Take the snapshot. Will you take the snapshot? This will be the question you are supposed to do. Okay. Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You try this program and come, ma. Okay. So here, you all know. First, I have to create. You all know header files and all. You know how to write. So leave that portion. So class student. Okay. you give the name class student. So here you all know it has to take the methods, okay, as well as the variable. So what you do, you declare the variable char name of the student. I think it's optional only, okay. Then int you can take it your input. You input means what? 3 subject marks. Okay, 3 subject marks means you all know maths, physics, chemistry. Okay, then you all use the methods to get the input. Void, okay, void to get marks. Void get marks. Okay, and one more method. You use the cin statement to get the marks. Okay, you want to display, void display marks also have to include. Okay, then this class gets over. Use the cin statement. Use the cin statement. Okay, you all know. Use the cin statement to get the input like name, okay, or gets name you have to use. But you all know, or else very simple, I can name it in string. Then it will accept. Okay, this statement will accept string, but you should not put 20. Name is sufficient. Okay, and or else gets name. I think in online compiler it's not supporting, or else we can write it. But according to this, gets name. Okay, and then you all know that cin to get your max mark, physics mark, then chemistry mark. Okay, this all gets over. You try and you have to execute it for me. Okay, then this is get over. You all know here my function get over and my class get over. That's semicolon. Okay, now can tell me the next syntax, how I have to write the inheritance for the total marks. Total marks is my child class. How I will write? How I will write? Okay, just put the syntax for writing the total marks as a child class. How I will write? Class total student. Morgan saw it is correct, but where is the access specifier? Yeah, that's correct. But what he has put now? Class. Yeah, Rashmita, correct. Class, but total marks should not be no space. You understand that variable you should not. Class total marks. Okay, it should not be no space. Public, public student. Okay, this should be my child class. So here I have to get the total. We all know into total you keep it. Into total you keep it. And you all know that here void total total mark. Okay, I'm not keeping my class name and function name same name. So here I'm just putting here. You all know that total. We all know what is the calculation. Total equal to m plus. But I'm just telling the code alone. I'm not executing purely. You just try it and come. Max, physics, chemistry. You have to execute me. Okay, can you understand? So here when actually my class gets over, or else you use the cout statement to do printing and all also. Okay, so that and all I didn't put. Okay, it's all your own imagination. Okay. Then now I have created one more class percentage. How you will write that percentage, ma? 170 students, the all others are very brilliant. They left the class. Okay, tell me the syntax for that, ma. Tell me the percentage, how I have to write the child class for percentage. Yeah, very good. Class percentage. Yeah, public total marks. Yeah, Mohan Sai correct, Rashita correct. Okay, that what you said is correct. So same thing. So class percentage. My parent class for percentage is total marks. So public total marks. Okay, here I will use this total marks. Okay, then here I will use that. You all know that I have to calculate the percentage. So percentage always will be in the float percentage if I'm declaring. Okay, then automatically you all know the casting will be done. Why? What I have to do? If I want to calculate the percentage, I think I cannot able to. Okay. Oh, everything is damaged. Okay. Oh my God, everyone get it. So okay, so finally I have to calculate percentage in a percentage is in float na. Definitely you all know percentage equal to what I have to put. Forcefully I want to convert na float total. This is, you all know what conversion, explicit type conversion. Float total divided by. This is the way I have to calculate. Yes. Will you try? Yeah, thank you, ma'am. But total by 100, it won't take, won't give the value in percentage, float value. So we have to forcefully convert float total. Yes. Okay. So you kindly do this, and you just come tomorrow. And I told you now I will give you 2 assignments and all. Okay. And this is take one question and one more question. I think this I gave, if possible, anyone do this also. This is what type of casting will come. I think the time is get over. If anyone can tell, staff, what are the data is needed that we have given. From staff, we have teacher, typist, and officer. Okay, take down the snapshot of this. So this will comes under the hierarchical inheritance. This will comes under the hierarchical inheritance. So use hierarchical inheritance to write. This regular typist, regular casual, na, that will comes under the multiple inheritance. Okay. So I think you may take this and you try this and come. You both the case study till Friday. So if you executed this program, you may share and you may explain to other students. That will make, I think in this class, so many students are there. When I look up this chat, I have a continuous discussion with Rashmita, Mohan Sai, Buddhala, and others. Bharat, Brinda, you may try it. Okay, Prithvi, in this class, I can say these students, I have a continuous conversation. So you may try it and come. Is clear, ma? I think I expecting not only these people whoever read the name. Oh, I got Vinay Kumar, very happy, very happy. You may do it. Okay. And you all can do, everyone have the capability to do. So you can do this 2 of the program, or else you may try any one of the program. You may share it, and you may creative level, what are the inputs, you may get it and you can think on. Okay. I think I will end the meeting because we won't have a